for tonight. Oh, when you would be here in my arms.
It's Sunday Morning on CBS, and here again is Jane Pauley.
Waiting for Tonight was a big hit back in 1999 for Jennifer Lopez, who just this year won a Golden Globe nomination for her role in the movie Hustlers. And there may be more to come as we hear from Tony Dokoupil of CBS This Morning in our Sunday Profile.
Think you need some medicine? I can be a medicine, yeah. Think you need some medicine? Give you a taste of what you give out.
Jennifer Lopez is already one of the most recognizable people on the planet. A global pop icon and a movie star, known to millions as J-Lo, and now engaged to A-Rod, aka Alex Rodriguez, a former Major League Baseball superstar. But after 25 years of celebrity and more than her share of celebrity news, Jennifer Lopez, the artist, is generating something new.
What if somebody calls the cops?
And says what? I spent $5,000 at a strip club, send help.
What she's generating is Oscar buzz.
I look at your film record, 40 films nearly. You've been in a lot of good ones. You've been in a lot of big box office films.
A lot of bad ones.
No Oscar so far. No Oscar nomination so far.
No, not yet.
Do you think this may change things? Is this the one?
I mean, I hope so. I hope so.
The movie is Hustlers, and her character, Ramona, leads a group of exotic dancers who decide to steal from the men who ogle them.
We gotta start thinking like these Wall Street guys. You see what they did to this country? They stole from everybody.
The one, the only, Ramona!
As for Ramona's big turn on the pole, that was Jennifer Lopez's idea.
I said she has to do some amazing thing on stage, some dance that is very indicative of who she is.
When she does it, that means you have to do it. So
Right.
was there a moment of hesitation?
Yes, there's always that kind of human fear of not wanting to expose yourself in a way that you haven't done before, and that meant, in this case, not just emotionally, but physically.
Yeah.
Even just as a woman being insecure with your body and thinking,
It's hard to imagine you feeling that way.
well, I worked really hard so I wouldn't feel insecure, but I still felt very vulnerable. And when you go out on a set and there's 300 men there, and whether they're background actors or not, they're still men. And you're thinking to yourself, oh my God, I gotta get up there in this outfit right now.
And Lopez not only danced like she never had before, she says she also acted with a new fearlessness.
What I wanted to do for the first time was not to stop myself in the middle of a take or anything or go, no, that's not right, I wanted to do this. No, I really just for the first time was like, any impulse I get, I'm gonna follow it, and then from there, whatever happens, happens, and if it sucks, take two, and if it doesn't, great, we got something crazy and good.
It's the kind of confidence that might only come with age. And believe it or not, Lopez celebrated a milestone birthday this past summer.
So this is 50.
Yes, it is. I don't feel any different than I did when I was 25, 26, 27, 8 years old, you know?
Yeah.
I just think now what's different is I have all this experience, but I still feel youthful, alive, and at the beginning of great adventures. That's how it feels.
Don't be fooled by the rocks that I got. I'm still Jenny from the block.
Her own adventure began back in the Bronx, one of 3 girls in a family often short on money, but not on music.
The word bills was something I knew from a very young age, and you know, I remember having holes in my shoes and
Really?
Oh yeah, but I didn't feel like I ever needed or wanted anything. It wasn't it was just all that I knew.
So then when did the dreaming start? When did the thought occur to you like, I'm gonna dance my way out of here?
My mom was into musicals and music, and so I remember being like very young thinking I wanted to be in musicals. I want to sing and dance and act. I want to do all 3. I want to be like in West Side Story.
At just 26, she landed the title role in Selena, a major biopic about the late Latin pop star. But Lopez's career soon took a turn.
I always wanted to make a record, and my manager at the time was like, well, you know, you won't be taken seriously as an actress if you make a record. So how about we just stick to the acting right now? You're getting all these, and I had just done Out of Sight and kind of getting good notices. But once I did the movie Celine, I was like, no, I'm doing it.
Think you gotta keep me as you don't think I'm gonna spend your cash out. Even if you were broke, my love don't cost a thing.
But while Jennifer Lopez was almost universally successful, she wasn't always universally respected. And her relationships with other megastars, including rapper Sean Combs, actor Ben Affleck, and singer Mark Anthony, made her a tabloid fixture, known as much for her love life as her work.
You've talked about trying not to let it affect your own self-esteem,
but
your
it
own
did.
self-value.
Oh, but it did. It did for a long time. It did, because I was, you know, talked about in a way that discredited any sort of talent I had, you know, and it was hard because I started thinking, well, maybe I am a fraud, and I think most artists go through that anyway, but here I was like, it was being magnified.
These days, Lopez doesn't even play the game of kiss and tell, as I found out the hard way after visiting the set of her next film, Marry Me. It's a romantic comedy that inevitably calls to mind her real-life engagement to Alex Rodriguez.
So because the movie's called Marry Me,
Yes.
and because you wear a wedding dress in the movie, and
Yes.
because of everything else going on in your life, I gotta ask right now, like,
Yes.
when are you getting married?
Well, I'm not gonna tell you
Come on!
right now. No, I mean, that's, you know, obviously.
Do you have a date for you, though?
I wouldn't even tell you that yet. But what I will say
Protective.
is that, yeah, I
You've
mean, I
learned.
think, of course, I just think certain things have to be sacred and be protective, and you have to be careful and delicate. It's just not me. It's another person. It's our kids. It's our family, and I learned that along the way.
And she learned something else recently after visiting with, of all people, Supreme Court Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg, who was married to her late husband Marty for more than 50 years.
What's your piece of advice? And she said, it's good to be a little deaf sometimes. And I was like, oh, okay. She's like, an unkind word, people are not perfect. Sometimes, you know, you just have to let it go. And often Alex and I will now reference like RBG, like stay calm. Or when everything gets crazy, when people get out of control, when there's like heightened emotions, don't go there with people. Just stay calm.
That may not be easy as Lopez prepares to perform at this year's Super Bowl halftime show in February.
It's moments,
Yeah.
right? Like you just have to find special, magical moments.
Are you finding yours tonight?
We're just in the beginning stages. You know, it's coming together. We have a little bit of time still, so I'm not worried.
Jennifer Lopez has learned a lot in her first 50 years.
Are you happier today than you were?
Yes, much.
You say that emphatically.
I do, because I realized that my journey to happiness wasn't about anybody else. Like, there was no man that was gonna walk into my life and make me happy.
No savior,
that
no.
I had to be happy. It wasn't somebody else's job to love me. I had to love me.
And maybe the most important lesson for her next 50 years is also the simplest.
Doesn't matter what anybody says. I know who I am, and that's who I have to be. And I work on being the best person I can be every day.